welcome to Abandoned Gamers Podcast. This is episode 200. We started this back in 2012, or I did, with Bill back then. Shout out to Bill for helping get it launched. Shortly thereafter, a year later, Shane joined in 2013, Karl in 2014, but 200 episodes. Almost a couple gaps in there, but almost every other week for 7 years now. Pretty awesome stuff. Glad to be doing it with these two guys.
Hear, man. The two best dudes around, and not probably, we are the three best looking boys in podcasting. Undisputed.
Easy to sell that when they can't see us, right?
Absolutely.
Well, if you're new to the show, we're a gaming and music discovery podcast. It's our two favorite hobbies. We start the show with Side A, video games, and then Side B, music. Beginning of the show, Side A, video games. Got no video games after 10 p.m. if you're 18. PlayStation Vue is coming to an end. Some updates from BlizzCon. Modern Warfare. We've got our e-penis segment. That's PlayStation Platinum trophies or easy PlayStation Platinum trophies. Between the two sides, we'll run, grab a beer, share what's in our pint glasses. Little cheers there. Then Side B, music. We've got a recommended album from me, and it's instrumental acoustic guitar music.
And a big help if you're going unplugged.
I'm Joel, your MC, one of your three co-hosts, recording in a suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA. Joining me on this journey from across the globe, from Vancouver, Canada, on the Skyway to Hell, it's Shane. What's up, Shane?
Yeah, man, it's so good to be back recording. I'm always, just glad to be recording, chatting some video games, and got a great album. So definitely stick around to hear our thoughts on that one.
Yeah, we got a good one this episode. In Birmingham, England, always backing both teams to score, it's Karl.
Absolutely. If you're having a little flutter, a little bet, always back both teams to score.
Karl, you want to get us started? You added some news here about China doing some things to crack down on gaming for kids.
Yeah, China's been in the news a little bit lately, and this popped into a few feeds. I think it was on Thursday or Friday last week, and it was one that just caught my attention. I think it's something we've talked about before, about parents not really having enough awareness and, sometimes not enough control over what kids are doing and things like that in terms of gaming, in terms of spending a few quid here and there, racking up mommy and daddy's credit cards and all that crazy stuff. Well, the people in China, the government have basically brought in some new laws. So they're kind of taking the ball by the horns and taking the power away from the parents and saying no video games for under 18s after 10 p.m.
Yes.
Wonder how they can monitor that.
Well, I guess they've just turned it all off, don't they? No one probably quite knows. They're also then saying a maximum of 90 minutes of gaming during the week for under 18s. Now that one, I'm kind of like 90 minutes, on a weekday. I get it if you're school age, thinking they've got to do the homework, they've got to do this, that, and the other. But if they've left school, you're 17, you're just like, I'm going to stay up till 2 a.m. and play a latest game. Yeah, you might not be able to do that, which is a little bit authoritarian. They're introducing some monthly spending limits as well. So if people are loading cash onto their accounts to spend, if you're 18 and under, 16 to 18 more specifically, you can only spend around $57 a month. If it maxes it there, and I don't think you're able to spend anything over that. And if you're from 8 to 16, you can only spend $29 a month. And it just, a couple of these steps kind of gets you thinking of, is it necessary? Are they kind of taking a look at the rest of the world and being like, we don't want our kids to be ending up in this zombified state of spending all the time playing video games. But it just seems a little harsh, especially if you think, 16, 17, you've done your exams, you just want to kick back in the summer and play games all the time or whatever. I just thought, we'd have a little chat about it. I know we've had some opinion on parents and maybe not stepping up to make themselves aware of what their kids are doing and to be involved in it. And this seems kind of like a bit of a backstop, a bit of a get out of jail free card, if you will.
Yeah, it seems like you're more telling the parents what the kids should be doing than you are telling the kids what they should be doing here, right? It's the parents' responsibility to make sure their kids are doing their homework, brushing their teeth, eating healthy, all those good things. It's almost like they're who's going to be held accountable? You gonna haul some 4-year-old to prison if he plays 2 hours of video games during the week, or the mom and the dad going to be the ones getting in trouble there in China if the kid's doing that?
I mean, you do wonder whether it'll be something they can monitor, like you say, John, whether they can look at that at account level. I think they're getting involved with all the services that they do have in terms of the people like Riot and Blizzard and Epic Games and people, I suppose, where they've got a specific logon, a visible online ID. So there's got to be some tracking and usage of that, which I suppose, all that stuff happens on the internet anyway. And it'll probably be just like a parental control. It just cuts off, and the job's done. But it does seem a strange thing to take away from the parents.
It's global domination, man. Right? Oh, good. Crack down on it. Strengthen the family honor. Go to school. Get good grades. And get out there and get you fast tracked into college. No video games. Do well. Become educated. Become some of the smartest people on planet Earth, and continue what they're doing.
They monitor their TV time too. Then, right? I mean, video games is just one form of media. Can they only 90 minutes of Guns N' Roses a day, and then you're done?
Nah, they ain't listen to Guns N' Roses, man. That's out in the proverbial boonies, where it's outlawed, like rock music was in like South America, Argentina. Our Argentinian listeners are, thank you.
All tuning out right now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. No, I mean I get it, but it's a totally different way of life. In a lot of other countries where you can see something like this and it's easy to lash out. That's bull, man. They're just trying to, control everyone and whatnot. It's fascism and all. It's a different way of life. So it's hard to really have an opinion without having experience in what they're doing and why this is happening the way it is and why it's gotten to this point. Don't know. It's tough to say.
Totally. And it's like you say, it's a different culture, different way of life. They kids go to school for longer hours, and there's a different expectation to kind of come off the production line and fit a particular mold. So to have something and regulation around it, and some kind of stringent guidelines. Well, not even guidelines, I guess, just straight up rules. It seems like something that you would expect to happen over there. But again, I suppose if it's culturally appropriate, perhaps video games are, they're actually not a huge thing over there because we know it's a market everyone's trying to tap into. You've only got to see the controversy with Blizzard and what's happened with the issues with Hong Kong and everything, where obviously it's very attractive as a market to these companies and they want to get in there. And you just wonder whether there'll be any pushback from people, the people at the top of the studios, at the developers and everything else, and thinking, well, is that going to impact the bottom line at the end of the day as well? I suppose it's not going to stop people buying games, but it's sure going to impact on people buying DLC and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're going to go to like Microsoft and Nintendo and Sony and say, hey, if you want to sell your console here, make sure you put in these measurements. Make sure after 90 minutes it shuts off if you have a child account or whatever. So this will be interesting. In other news, PlayStation Vue, which is PlayStation's TV streaming service, similar to like YouTube TV and Hulu TV, is coming to an end. They've announced, hey, that was one of the first TV streaming services I remember. I know it's the first one I used. I cut the cord, 2013, 2014 now. It's been a long time. But I have slowly inched my way back up to a cable bill with all these different streaming services. I feel kind of dirty.
Right? Funny how that works out. Cut the cable and it's like, oh, we need this service. Before you know it, you're $15 short of what you were paying in the beginning. But
and it's the justification as well. And if you're anything like me, Joel, I'm there going, yeah, it's £7 for Netflix and it's like £10 for Spotify, and And then Disney Plus has just been announced. I'm like, I need that, and I'm looking at it again. No, well, it's it's only £6, and it's because they're all little amounts, and they just add up. And until you put them in your spreadsheet, like if you're sad like me, in every month, and you're like, oh shit, there's £60 a month going out there and all that. Then it hits you.
Yeah, they add up. I also have a spreadsheet, Karl. High five.
Yes, spreadsheets for the win.
But I'm glad Sony is focusing more on their gaming only. They don't need to be diversifying in every different direction. Just focus on, for the PlayStation console, focus on the PlayStation games, good hardware, and get out of that TV business. I bet you the competition's probably pretty fierce right now too, with YouTube TV and Hulu TV, and those contracts they have to individually get with all the networks and the negotiations that take place. I don't know if it's like this for you guys in Canada and England, but here in the States, this happens all the time where you watching like a Milwaukee Brewers game, and there'll be an advertisement like, hey, if you're watching on Time Warner, or it's now called Spectrum, if you're watching on Spectrum Cable, you better call your local congressman and your local representatives, because soon we're going to take it away from you because they didn't pay us enough money. Fox Sports is going to drop Spectrum because they need to pay us more money. And we're going to hold you all in the middle, and you can't watch it anymore. So there. It's crazy.
Taking a page out of PBS, it sounds like.
Constantly battling over these. I mean, it's all the networks want a piece of those little tiny dollar amounts too, and it just keeps, those little dollar amounts keep going up. Like I know Netflix just went up a year or two ago, and I do YouTube TV, which is like a cable service light. It's like $50, $57 a month I pay for this. So it's not, now I can watch all my sporting events, and I can get access to some TV channels and stuff.
57 a month.
57 a month. Plus I do Netflix.
Yeah.
I'll be doing that Disney Plus. I got Apple Music, which is obviously not TV, but music. You add all that up, and plus, I do internet through Spectrum, and they jack up my internet because I don't pay for their television. So there's that. So if I were to bundle TV with my internet, it would be cheaper than paying for YouTube TV. But it's almost like a matter of principle. Like I don't want them to have me like that. I don't. Even though it would save me a couple bucks, I like having the independence, and I like not being connected to that company that way. Kind of strange. I'm paying more to feel like I'm in more control. It's really kind of stupid, I guess.
I'm the same way with my phone plan, which isn't really a plan. I won't go on any contract or anything. Just like having that freedom and not having to worry if something does go wrong or anything. I mean, yeah, I gotta, I buy my own devices and whatnot, but you're paying from regardless. So just having that freedom is definitely a comfort, we'll say.
I'm the same, dude, especially with the phone. Just buy up front, drop a couple of £100 on it, and then just pay a really super small contract amount, £10 a month, done. Never any more, never any less, and gives me everything I need. The problem that we tend to have, especially with TV, is that we have Virgin and Sky, and they're the main two really who offer the TV services, and BT, British Telecom, the old BT, who also do their own little packages and stuff, but they're kind of, no one really does the whole kit and caboodle. And Sky and Virgin still have to rent the phone lines from British Telecom. So, for example, me, I'll never watch TV, live TV anyway. I cut the cord on the cable a year ago and just stream a couple of bits, but I've still got a Skybox, not that I ever use it, but I still have to pay for a phone line, which is £20 a month, regardless if I never use an actual phone at home. And then you pay for the internet on top. So I still end up paying about 30 something quid a month to Sky just for the internet, which really should just cost about £15 a month. And then it's the stuff on top of that. So no matter which way you do it, I think they've got you by the short and curlies, whichever way you're trying to circumnavigate, there's always a way that you're going to end up just not winning it.
Yeah, totally. Blizzard had BlizzCon. That's what it's called, right? The BlizzCon. Annual convention they do. And some big news came out of that, a couple of which I think my two cohorts here are probably excited about. So I thought I'd bring them up. see if they want to share their thoughts. Let's start with Diablo 4, which they rumored were supposed to share last year. They didn't. Everybody was going to bring their pitchforks there this year if they didn't share it and kill them all or something. I don't know. People get really upset over their Diablo. They wanted that Diablo 4, their fans. And it was announced, and it was, like a very, very long trailer. Am I right, Karl?
Yeah, it was like a 10-minute long cinematic trailer. And you're right, they've had the pitchforks out, especially last year when they announced this mobile phone game. And they're like, that's not a real Diablo game. And this year they've had the pitchforks out for a whole different reason. And I was so happy when they put this trailer out, and I was engrossed by the whole thing. And it was really, really cinematic and very cool. Like there was a little twist in the trailer and everything. And it just left me just desperate to play this game. Put a lot of hours into Diablo 3 over the years on various different consoles and PC, and it's not too much a change in the style of the game. It's still an isometric loot RPG. It's a little bit darker. I think the tone's got a little bit grimmer from the previous one, and we've kind of got introduced to a new baddie in there as well in the trailer. So they said it's nowhere near close. It's not going to be next year. It may not even be 2021. I've no idea. I think they pulled a Sony and just dropped this super early and just said, right, here we go. But yeah, I'm excited. But then it's me and it's Diablo. So I
think there was a decent bit of pressure from their community to share this, right? Even though it's a couple years out, if they didn't share it, seems like they would have lost some goodwill with their fans.
I think they would have, and I think it's a delicate time for them at the moment. No matter what your personal opinions and everything else on what's been going on in the world, which we won't really talk about. But the fact is, they make great games, and I'm not alone. And a lot of Diablo fans out there who really wanted this game and just wanted to see it, just wanted to make sure, we know you're doing it, but just give us a little taste, just give us a little something, and they did, and boy, I'm excited for it. I think it's always online. It is going to require an online collection, but it doesn't mean that it's actively online. You can still play single player, on your own if you want to do that sort of stuff. But just moving with the times a little bit, I think.
And then the other big announcement out of there, Overwatch 2 was announced. I know Shane, you as well, Karl, but I know Shane, you've played a ton of Overwatch. Have you had a chance to watch this trailer, and what do you think of Overwatch 2?
Yeah, I've seen bits of it. Do you two know, is this like a new game, or is it just like a massive add-on like say Iceborne was for Monster Hunter World?
As I understand it, it's a new game, but
Yeah,
it's got the same multiplayer modes.
And everything.
Yeah, that was the thing that kind of confused me on it.
Everything carries over too. That's where I get confused as well.
Yeah.
They've said that all the skins that you've earned in Overwatch to date will carry over. The actual online, the matchmaking interface and all that sort of stuff is staying the same. They are adding a couple of new maps and new mode. There was one new mode in it which hilariously was called Push, I think, rather than the existing one where you kind of jump on the payload and you kind of you're almost sitting on it, aren't you, at the moment, or walking side by side. Yeah. This new mode that they dropped in there, you got a big robot and he's just like, I'm pushing the payload, and he's just pushing it along, and you think, well, that's not really a leap into the future. They've said there's a little bit of customization, some new character models, which I couldn't really tell the differences, I've got to be honest. But I did jump back into this, and I played Overwatch for a little bit the other weekend with our good friend Tim Paulin when he was doing his Extra Life. Shout out to Tim. And I jumped in there and I forgot how much good fun this game is. And they've added loads of new characters on there, and they've got it's such a deep roster, and the meta for that game is so set now. It would be daft of them to kind of drop it all and just release a brand new one. So I think it wouldn't surprise me if it comes out and it's a lower price game. If it's $40, rather than being full price, and you get the same mode you've got now with a little sprinkling of a couple of new characters maybe, and this little they got some single player missions as well, which would encourage you to play as each hero going through the storyline. So that could be quite cool.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing that I liked out of it. It's just adding a bit of that a bit more lineal when it comes to the backstory and whatnot, rather than having to go to YouTube and watch a 15-minute video to get a character's thing. Make it something in the game, something that you have to accomplish or whatnot to learn a bit more. Pulls you in a bit more, in my opinion. Yeah, no, it looks sharp. Looks sharp. Looks, more of the same with some new modes and whatnot. I too jumped in and played a little bit a few weeks ago. They did the Bastion's Brick Challenge where you can unlock the skin to make the Bastion character look like a Lego, which I thought was really, really cool that they did. And after playing that, you had to win a bunch of rounds to unlock it or whatnot. Easy peasy. But it was a lot of fun. And then there's a couple new maps that I had never played before, and they were really, really well done. Less spawn camping, I guess you could say, in it. It just seemed a bit more balanced. So if that's a sign of things to come that they're going to do in the second reiteration of the game, it'll be brilliant. And the esports fanatics will be loving it, and they'll make $1 billion more, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, I forgot about that, man. The esports in that game on ESPN and everything now, it's becoming quite a big deal. And smart of them to do the everything will carry over strategy, because they do have that loot box system in there, and you can spend your own money on that stuff. So it's like,
really,
yeah.
It's my $50 Tracer English British Olympic skin that I still proudly use when I'm using that character.
Good job you're over 18, mate. I'll tell you that. when I've seen the work on this, it wouldn't surprise me if this is next year. Whether or not I would imagine that they wouldn't wait for the new consoles and stuff. I think the infrastructure's so deep in there that they'll just be like, right, here you go to summertime or maybe Q3 and just drop it.
Wait, are you hinting at cross generation play?
I think so. I think it would surprise me if they ain't got it.
Place your bets, kids.
You can see it now, can't you? Like, there's really cool skins, but you can only get them if you've got Overwatch 2. And you got your loot box in Overwatch, and it's like, it's just a shadow, like, and you can't get that one unless you upgrade. So it's clever by Blizz,
Right.
Well, what we've been playing, I finished Gears 5.
Really?
Man, what a game!
Nice.
I tell you, I really like Gears 5. Best one yet. Excellent story, good gunplay, some great boss fights. Some emotional moments there at the end, even though you got these big lumbering around jock crazy looking dudes. It's like I actually felt my heartstrings get tugged a little bit there at the end. And there's a decision you got to make. That was kind of a tough emotional decision. Very attached to the main character, Kate. Love the story, and at the end they left it hanging. It didn't tie it up and put a bow on it. So there's more Gears. Not shocking. There's more Gears coming.
Fun.
Right?
They're not going to put their prized franchise to bed. I guess there's more Gears. Should have saw that coming. But there was a lot of things happening in that game where I'm like, it just sort of seemed like it was coming to a giant climax. It's going to end. It's all coming to an end. And nah, that's stupid. But good game. Just wanted to circle back and say how much I loved it. I think it got like 15, 16, 17 hours in there. Beat it on intermediate. I'm not a trophy achievement guy, but I was disappointed that I did not get an achievement for beating it on intermediate. I got the trophy for beating the campaign. I could have got the same trophy for playing it on easy.
Right.
So I have to admit, I felt a little cheated there. There is a trophy, an achievement for beating it on insane, which probably is very difficult. I don't know if I'll go back and do that. I would like to try some horde mode and do some of the multiplayer stuff now, though. But Gears 5, very good game.
And you're a huge fan of the series. As long as I've known you, you've always been a big Gears fan. And man, this one being your favorite, that says something, kids. Go out there and buy it.
There you go. It is buggy though. I did run into a bug, Karl. I know you had mentioned one. I got to a point in the story. I was ready to advance to the next section. Got a little confused with where I was supposed to go on the map. There are a couple points in the game where I got a little kind of thrown off, because they'll show you a spot like on your screen that tells you where you need to go, like a little indication. And a lot of times that indication is straight ahead of you, but there's this giant like mountain or something, obstruction. So you have to go around it, circle all the way around it to get to that spot. But there was one moment in the game where I couldn't figure out how to get to where I needed to get. And I went into a door that I had gone into previously. It was a segment that I had cleared, and they started that whole segment over again. Like, oh, okay, so now you're back 2 chapters ago, and you've got to, and it was like it's as if I've never beat that section before, even though I had just gone through it and completed it. It started me completely over. So I had to play a segment of the game, about an hour's worth, that I had already completed. As soon as I realized what was happening, I quick turned the game off. Like, no. That's not what I intended. Bad on me for going in the wrong door that I've already cleared before. But it auto-saved. So it took me, I had to replay that whole section over again. Fortunately, it was a fun section, but that's kind of a bug right there, right? That wasn't right.
I've still got that to play through. I have now installed it onto PC because I have decided to get rid of the Xbox One X.
Whoa!
Dun, dun.
Oh man,
yeah,
pain.
I know. I was kind of looking at it the other day, and I was like, as you look under your TV, all the stuff, and I was like, I'm really not getting the best out of this thing. It's a great console, like it's a lovely piece of kit, and the thing that's kind of the reason why I picked it up in the first place, really, and why I haven't got rid of it to date, is because I could not get Windows 10 to update on my PC to the latest build, so that you can actually install Game Pass on PC. Because I pay for Ultimate, I've got it on both platforms till probably like, I don't know, March or April next year. And I was playing the Outer Worlds, and I was not too far in, and I was thinking, I really want to be playing this on PC, man, where I've got like dual monitors and I can have something on the go next to me, while I'm doing it. I'm a big fan of multitasking. And I thought, right, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to upgrade my PC. So I had to do a complete reinstall of Windows 10, despite our friend Peasant and he trying to help me through various troubleshooting guides. I had no choice in the end. So it worked like a charm. Got it up and running, and within, I don't know, like 24 hours, I was back into Outer Worlds on Game Pass on my PC. Unfortunately, there's no cross save on that game, so I did have to start again. But it's so good, it doesn't really matter. But then I was kind of looking at the games I actually do play on Game Pass, which is probably like a little bit of Forza here, and I might download one of the games and do the quest things. I don't know if you guys do the little quest things you can get on the app where you can earn these points every month, and you can actually put those towards paying for Game Pass and paying for live and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's quite a fun little thing. I could talk about that on another show, maybe, if it's something we want to cover. But I was going through and I thought, I've got all these games on the One X and I ain't going to play them, so I might as well play them on PC. And I was kind of just looking at it thinking, well, I might as well chop it in, and I've got so much stuff here. It doesn't hurt to downgrade a little bit. So I'm still playing my Xbox games, but just comfortably playing them on my PC now, and just got my controller ready to jump into my Xbox gaming on there. So yeah, thought it was time. All the first party games are on PC as well. There's not really any incentive for it, and then you've got the new one coming out next holiday. So yeah, I did. It's a bit sad because it is a lovely machine, but just not needed.
Yeah, it makes total sense, though. I mean, they are putting a lot of their stuff on the PC. The service they want to sell you with Game Pass works on both. Doesn't have all the same one-to-one games, but I'm sure Microsoft is still happy they still have you as a Game Pass subscriber. I don't think they're disappointed you got rid of your Xbox. It seems like it's part of their strategy, right? Get you on one or the other.
I think so, and having it on both was no big deal, and for a while it was just working like that. But yeah, I think it makes sense for me anyway. And we'll see what kind of happens with the titles as they stagger through, and I can always pick up another one if I want to.
And we can still play Gears together, as it is crossplay.
We totally can.
There you go.
Totally can.
Okay, so I don't feel as bad as I did a minute ago when you said you got rid of it.
You got more chance of getting me on the PC than you have on the Xbox. To be fair, Joel. So, but I was in the shooter mood, and I thought I've been playing a lot of Borderlands, which obviously,
really,
yeah, you might remember. I've heard of this on a previous show, and everyone was raving about the new Call of Duty and saying, "Oh, it's brilliant, man! It's the best in years. The campaign's amazing." And And I thought, I'll sign up to a rental service in this country anyway. So I'm like, I'll check on the rental list. I'll pick it up and have a playthrough. And I put it in straight away. It's like, you've got to sign up to an Activision account to play the game. And I was like, I don't want to play multiplayer. And it makes you kind of back out of it 2 or 3 times. And every time you boot the game up, it asks you again, hey man, did you forget to sign up? I'm like, oh God, okay. So
isn't that the worst?
Yes.
I almost turned it off, dude. I'm not going to lie. I was like, ugh.
Like the Ubisoft accounts, the EA accounts, you got all these accounts. Just let me play the fucking game. Like I don't care. I'm not signing up for your newsletters. I don't care. I want to play the game. I just spent, X amount of dollars, the hard-earned cash, we'll say. And I just want to play the game, like this, and it brings you back to these prompts. NHL does that with EA. It's like every time I log in, it's like, oh, make sure you sign up. It's like, stop it. Just enough. Let's play the game. Let's enjoy it. This is why we're buying it.
Amen.
Totally.
I think why they've done it is because of crossplay. I think that's what they're saying. That's their excuse, so that they can matchmake properly and put it all on their own infrastructure. And then you kind of think, okay, other games don't necessarily have to do that, but it is what it is. So I thought, I'll just cancel that. It's fine. I don't want to play it. I just want to play the campaign. So I booted it up, and the last campaign I really played was the first Modern Warfare way back, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I put this one in, and it's really pretty. It really does look good. And I'm playing it on the Pro, on PS4 Pro. I'd imagine it looks better, if not, just as gorgeous on the PC and the One X as well. And it did get me into it a little bit. It grabbed me. There are a few familiar faces in there. It's kind of like a prequel / reboot of the Modern Warfare game that we all knew and loved on the last generation. And it's set in like a made-up country, basically, like his name escapes me, Uzbekistan or something. And there's a bit of conflict going on with the local militia there against Russian occupancy, and then you've got the UK and the US teaming up together, Boris and Bush. And then you've also got like a little terrorist cell in there as well, just muddling it all up a bit. And you never quite know who the good guys are, who the bad guys are. It's all kind of open to interpretation. But the mission pacing is pretty cool. It starts off quite well. There's some gas that goes missing, and you have to try and track it down. And you think the Soviets have got it, and then you realise they haven't got it, and you don't quite know what's going on. And no spoilers, but there's certain missions in this which are really, really cool. And there's like a terrorist attack in London, and there's just everything exploding, like the graphics on the lighting effects on the flames and the street lighting, and it's all beautiful, if horrible and harrowing at the same time. And these games have always made me feel a little bit uncomfortable playing through these scenarios and stuff. And so I don't really know why I went back in what I was expecting when I picked this up and thinking, this will be fun to get in a bit of Call of Duty. So it is kind of just makes me personally a little bit uncomfortable when I'm playing. I'm just shooting random people, whatever. It just feels a bit more realistic, and I guess that's what people wanted. There's a pretty cool mission in it though, where you're kind of breaking into a terrorist house in the middle of London, and you've got your team, and you go dark. You get the night vision goggles on. You're creeping up the stairs, and it's like a 5-story house, and like creaking doors open and stuff. And it's almost not a survival horror, but like there's elements of that, jump scares and some cool stuff in it. And you get penalised, obviously, if you shoot civilians accidentally and things like that. So I was kind of getting into it. I thought it was quite well done. There were some things that were pulling on the heartstrings, and some things that perhaps were just on the treading the fine line that these games sometimes tread between making them uncomfortable and gripping at the same time. And then I got to a mission which kind of just like, I went, nah, that just feels a bit wrong. And it's basically like, I don't know why they've done it, but in the first Gulf War, there was a war crime pretty much when the Iraqis were fleeing back to Kuwait, and I think the coalition of the US and the UK bombed this highway and killed hundreds of surrendering people going back or fleeing the the scene, whatever you want to call it. And they've recreated it in the game and it named it the same thing, the Highway of Death, and kind of put a little thing about the Russians in there, like, saying Russians are bombing this with their MiGs and stuff, and it all gets a bit close to the bone, really. And I was like, I'm not really feeling why they needed to do that. They've gone through the trouble of making up a made-up country and all this stuff, and then they kind of, So I went through that level, and I was thinking, I'm not really. I kind of just want to get through it now. And then the very next level was like a flashback where you kind of go back and you play one of the resistance fighters as a child in their house, and you're trying to escape an armed gunman who wants to murder you. And I was like, no, I think I'm done with this. So I turned it off and uninstalled it. And that was pretty much my experience with it. It looks wonderful. If you want it for a shooter, it's kind of, the mechanics are great, the guns feel great, but I don't really want to recreate that kind of thing myself and enjoy that. I think most people buy it for the multiplayer anyway, so I get why you get a kick out of that sort of stuff, especially as it's a team game and all the rest of it. But the actual campaign just left me feeling a bit uncomfortable with it, and I just thought, I've seen enough.
And I was thinking about checking out that campaign, and that little thing you described where you're kind of sneaking up through a 5-story dark with the stealth and all that, the night vision that sounded cool. And then that ending stuff there, that does not sound great.
Yeah.
I don't watch the evening news sometimes because it's all bad news. And I'm not trying to put my head in the ground and ignore what's going on in the world, but it's just after a few stories, it's like, I can't take it anymore. I get it. The world's going to pot. I got it. I'll check back in tomorrow. Just let me know if my house is blowing up or something, But that's exactly what I turn the news off for sometimes. It's that kind of stuff. So that would probably turn me off too. I'm saddened to hear that. So I kind of wanted to check this out. Getting good reviews.
Yeah, I'm not surprised it's getting good reviews because mechanically it's great and it really does look great. And there's a lot going for it. It just, I don't know. And I sat there and I was thinking, am I just getting old? Am I? I whacked it straight down to the easiest difficulty possible, and I was just like, I'll just play through it, get the storyline, some of the old characters there and stuff, and I said, that's gonna be cool. But I guess I'm just in a completely different place to the last time I played that, Modern Warfare, and I think the world is as well, and that blurred line is just all the time even more confusing, and you're just like, I don't really know if I want to be part of that, and I know it's just a game. I don't know, it might seem quite silly, but for me, I'm like, I want to I have a lot of fun with games, and that's why I want to play them, really. So I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna send it back. Plus, Star Wars is out, next week, so it makes sense to get that.
Yeah, I don't want politics in video games.
Amen.
I get why they do it, but those are games I'm going to avoid. Any politics in Borderlands 3, Shane?
Oh, loads.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's chock full with... No, not really.
Good.
Right. And yeah, rightfully so. God, taking a bit of a deep breath here because glad to move on. Yeah, completed Borderlands 3, man. Can you believe it?
Oh, yeah. Snap, dude.
Congrats, buddy. It's how long did it take you, maybe? Any idea?
Couple months, it feels like. No, I've been playing co-op with Massive Attack. We've been playing through the whole game together. And, schedules don't always line up. It's easy to go a week without playing or whatnot, which has helped break it up a little bit because it's a big game. There's a lot to do. There's lots to discover. The maps are massive. They feel, twice, almost 3 times as big as stuff in Borderlands 2. So there's a lot there to get through. And, the story is pretty good. It's pretty good. Enjoyed it. It's the best in co-op. One of the top co-op experiences playing Borderlands games. So good stuff, man. Excellent.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it as well. And excuse me, I've got fireworks going off like crazy here. But the one thing I've really enjoyed about it is the scale, and I know it's a lot bigger than Borderlands 2. And there were moments when I was going through and I was thinking perhaps these maps are a little bit on the large side. But then now that I've finished it, and I'm like, ooh, now I can go back and explore these ridiculously large levels now and find out all the secrets and go back and enjoy those too. And in multiplayer, I must say, Shane, I know last time on the show you spoke about the issues with like driving and stuff if you were logged into someone else's game. I had that when I played with Shane and a Massive Attack yesterday. I was in my little unicycle thing and I couldn't move, man. I was driving and glitching here, there, and everywhere. Serious multiplayer performance issues in that game sometimes, but then other times it would run fine for like an hour, you know, and then it would just be in those few moments when you just thought, oh god, here we go.
It's been out a while. I wonder if they're going to patch some of that, help fix that up.
Yeah, there's supposed to be one sometime this month and whatnot, but you know, it's a very good game. We first started playing it and mentioned, oh, you know, it's more of the same, and you know, that's a great thing, and it is in Borderlands, and it is more of the same. But now after playing through it and playing, you know, 20, 30, 40 hours into it, it kind of, you know, hope maybe the next one is, you know, a bit more. I don't know what the word is. Just it's time to maybe bring a new take into the series. I'd mentioned before that it is more of the same, but they've definitely modernized it. You know, it's Borderlands in 2019, but I think it might be time to really take a larger leap going forward into the next game and really bring a lot more new you know, elements of gameplay in it. I think it could use. It started feeling a bit little. It's Borderlands, you know, which is great and all. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think after playing so much over the years, it might be time to really take what's great in Borderlands and, you know, being overpowered and having all these great weapons and going through and just blowing stuff up, which is, you know, so much fun and you know, the heart of the game of having all these great weapons. And that's why you have so many different great weapons and, you know, legendary classes and all this stuff, what makes it great. To really emphasize on that a bit more, whereas it kind of, you know, I didn't feel the need to, I got to see this gun. I got to, you know, make sure that this is going to be, you know, much more powerful. There's too many where, you know, I'd have like a level 25 gun and at level 35, I'm still using it and it's still, you know, it's still doing some decent damage. Seemed kind of weird, but I don't know.
That's sloppy development or what?
No, it's just more, maybe they just played it safe. Maybe they played it safe and kept, you know, true to the Borderlands. This is what you're going to get. That's going to run stale. You know, you have to shake it up a little bit. I think on the next one. I think this one, because it's been 8 years since Borderlands 2-ish, you know, and is first, you know, the proper one on here. I don't know.
Yeah, let's talk.
It'd be nice to just shake it up a little bit and do something a little bit different. I think, but who knows? Maybe I've just been playing Borderlands too much lately.
It's kind of how it was billed, though, in all the reviews I read about it. It's just that it's like quality of life improvements, but more of the same otherwise.
Yeah. That's actually what I've been meaning to say this past 15 minutes of describing that. Joel just summed up in like 4 words.
Nah, I appreciate that perspective, though. That's...
I know.
I know it's not a popular decision on this show with these two guys, but I'm not really a big Borderlands guy. So if it's more of the same, it's like I don't need that. I'm looking for what you're looking for in the next one, Shane. Something a little bit different with that franchise before I spend 40 hours or whatever the requirement is to get through a game like that. That's why I was curious how long it took you, like how many hours, if you had any idea.
Not, somewhere in there, ballpark to be, There's so much to do.
I think I'm about 60 hours.
Ooh.
2 days and I think
Well,
it
I'm
was 2 days.
62 hours then.
It was 2 days and like 10 hours before I played yesterday. So I'm assuming it's like, around that 60-hour mark.
Wow. Okay. I'm out. All right. So before we get over to grabbing a beer, some cheers, and talking about this album, I'm anxious to talk about this album. We've got to get to the easy PlayStation Platinum trophies. I know people love that. Karl, you got a couple? You want to share them?
Yep, indeed. Mentioned briefly on the last show about Devious Dungeon 2, and I'd started going through that. I've got the Platinum on that now. Just kind of perfect game for me to just get away from my desk at work and just hunker down and play for an hour here and there. And it took me, this one isn't a short and quick Platinum. This took probably a good 8 hours, I think. And I can only go by the numbers of lunch breaks I was playing this on. But quite a long little game it is, in all fairness. But it's a good game, so it doesn't really, you don't really feel like it's a chore or anything. Typical little roguelike, dungeon platformer. So enjoyed that. Peasant Night, which I've got the Platinum before on the Vita. I grabbed that on the PS4, just tidied up that plat. Super easy little game where you just pretty much pressing 2 buttons to stop your knight from running before he gets to the exit, before the time runs down and he gets zapped by lightning. Pretty much all the game is. And then one that Shane mentioned, and he talked about a few months ago, called Metagal, which is a little, I guess it's like a little Mega Man clone.
Oh, yes.
And it's again cute. Rattlesnake games, nice little fun game. And I was kind of looking forward to going through this. And I thought this is going to take a few hours. I'm going to, have to beat the different bosses just like you do on Mega Man. And you've got to defeat one to then get their ability to defeat the other one who's weak to him and stuff. And it's kind of over in about 25 minutes. So you only have to do one of them, which I didn't realise. So yeah, and again, that's like a fun little game. For a couple of quid, it's a plat, and very easy. You could get them both in an hour.
Yeah, great title for the Vita. Great Vita game.
It is.
Had a lot of fun, and I think I still have it on my Vita. I just keep it there just to go through, do a level, just have fun with it.
Well, let's go grab a beer. We're going to celebrate 200 episodes here, and by the power of editing, we're going to keep just flowing. We'll be back here in a second. And we're back. We never left, really. Wanted to mention, too, it's a good opportunity. Kind of chilled on the editing. Pretty loose. Hope you don't mind. I think we're pretty tight with our conversations. But you are going to get the occasional ums and stuff in there. I like to keep it loose and not do a ton of too much work. I do too much work, don't I, guys? I'm very OCD, where I can edit this.
Yeah.
I can edit this thing until I've spent way too much time. Kind of silly. Anyway.
There you go. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is, boys.
I'll get us started. I have got a Imperial Stout. It's a milk stout.
What?
Milk stout from the fine folks at Eagle Park Brewing Company. A little bit of cocoa in here. It's aptly named Miss Swiss instead of Swiss Miss. Nice little can, which my cohorts can see here. Look, a little marshmallow flavored, hot chocolate style, like stout.
Cute.
Chocolate stout. So I'm going to pour this in my glass and wait to taste it until we do our cheers. What do you guys got?
I can't believe you bought a stout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stouts. It's the season. It's cold here in Wisconsin.
It is. You're right. You can tell by the crack from my can exactly what I've got. I haven't managed to get out to the store to get anything special in, but this drink is always special. It's a Guinness, so I thought I'd join you on that stout train.
There you go. And I'm rocking it's a new one that Parallel came out with. They do this grapefruit Radler, and it's a great Radler. It's a proper Radler. Low percentage, but good. Hair of the dog drink and whatnot. And they've done it with lemonade in the summer and whatnot. They do the lemonade Radler and whatnot. Great. But this winter, this is the first time they've done it. They're doing it with cranberries. I love cranberry. I love cranberry juice. I'm a huge fan. So super stoked. But they did it. They got a cranberry Radler. It's only 3.5. It's a featherweight. But great morning or just it doesn't even matter. It's just a great tasting Radler. They used to put, proper juice involved. They got a strong lager in there, just well balanced. Always delicious. The artwork is always second to none on there. They got the tricycle on there. They got the little basket of cranberries in there. They got some snow in the background. It's brilliant. Very, very nicely colored. A nice rose. Yeah, brilliant. Delicious drink.
Looks like a cherry red on that one. Very good color.
Ooh.
All right, gentlemen. Raise your glasses to 200 episodes. Exciting, right? It's a big number. Nice round. Couple zeros on there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers, guys. Thank you, everybody, for listening to these 200 episodes. We appreciate you.
200
Thank
more.
you. Oh, yeah.
Man, when you get a good, I'm not a huge stout guy, but when the weather gets cold and you get a good one, and this is a good one, man, delicious.
Tough to beat. Nice and stiff, tuck you in real nice.
Yep, this one is a 9%er. Brewed with marshmallows and cocoa powder.
Ooh.
And tastes like it.
Nice.
Why don't we talk some music? What do you say? Shane, you do your thing?
Welcome to Side B, music.
This episode, an album I recommended from William Tyler called Goes West, came out back in January 2019. So I've let it simmer for quite a few months before I decided to share it, to recommend it. And I'm glad I did. Came out on Merge Records. It's 10 songs, 38 minutes. It is a meditative, relaxing, beautiful acoustic guitar arrangements with a splash of other guitar sounds. There's some electric in there. He lays some landscapes in addition to the acoustic. Got drums, bass, and keys in there as well. Also more as a landscape. But it's William Tyler's playing that's really the front and center of this album and all of his music. His last album is also very good, called Modern Country. So I've been listening to him for a while. Saw him at Acme. I think I mentioned him on the last episode. Chose this record because the time of year, the fall colors here in Wisconsin, the temperature's starting to go down. It's the kind of album I like to warm up to. When I recommended it in our Discord, I said something to the extent like, find some time, look for a Zen place, turn the lights down, pour yourself a beverage, a whiskey or a beer or a wine, whatever you prefer, and just let yourself drift away with the music. Because when you do, to me, it's got like some healing, some stress relieving qualities to it. Very calming, soothing record. William Tyler is a talented player. He's a top-notch songwriter. He hails from Nashville, Tennessee. I guess it's got a kind of an Americana style sound to it. Let's hear what you think about it. Community rating, it's an overall of 4.5 out of 5. Nice score. We've got some comments here from Discord and our Facebook group. But first off, from Discord, Gardening Girl 5 says, this album is simply lovely. No, it's not an album you listen to when you're looking to get motivated. This is the album you listen to when life is stressful and one needs to calm the mind down. William Tyler is an amazing guitarist who paints a picture of nature and natural beauty in his compositions. It's hard to evoke emotion without lyrics, but William Tyler does it well. Hey, I forgot to mention, it's a instrumental record. Glad she brought that up. Oh, Mikey, Master Dugong. He says, first impressions, album was very easy for me to get into. Great melody and harmony, then dissonance and resolve. Tons of layers to the music. For me, this is a big musical playground for my mind. I could keep coming back and exploring and finding something new. Would be nice if there was a tune or two that picked up the tempo or let loose a bit more. Kept having the feeling of, man, these musicians are great, but feels like they're holding back something. 4 out of 5, he rated it. Then he came back and commented further a little bit later. He said, okay, so a few more listens in, and I think this album to me feels like a journey. The thing is, I want a moment of grandeur or something. Grandeur. Like if it's a painting, a picture, I want to see the trees clear on a majestic lake, but it's just all trail. Gives me this feeling of going on a train ride, but I fell asleep while it whizzed by the Grand Canyon. I think I would give it a 5 if somewhere in this album I could feel like, we arrived. Or maybe if he saw the Grand Canyon during his train ride. Kafad says, I wasn't expecting an instrumental album, but wow, this was just pure acoustic bliss. I first listened walking the dog around the neighborhood on a clear, cool night and was reflecting on the day, and it was perfect soundtrack for that moment. 5 out of 5. Those guitars are just beautifully played. Thanks for the recommendation. And hey, well done, Kafad. That's a perfect time. Walking the dog. Peaceful time to put this record on. Well done. Tim Paulin says, very solid acoustics and very chill. Man in a Hurry makes me want to go horseback riding or play Red Dead. Man in a Hurry being a song on the album, he gave it a 4 out of 5. Last but not least, from our Facebook group, Chris Volak says, 5. It's a perfect record. Got a Wyndham-style folk composition, fits this weather nicely. It's quite possibly the coldest day of all the fall, and the sun is shining bright. I can see some disliking its new age-like leanings, but if you listen a little closer, he seems to make nods to newer stuff with some almost American football-like structures. Overall, though, it sticks to its specific lineage, and I can't fault him for that. Those comments, I think, sum up the record very, very well. I appreciate everybody taking a moment to give it a rating, leave some words. I'm very anxious to hear what Shane and Karl think. Which one of you guys, Shane and Karl, want to get this started?
I think you mentioned this is a great time of year to listen to this record. To me, not necessarily thinking, it's autumn or fall, with the leaves and all that. I think it's a good time of year being partway through the season, coming up to a very busy holiday season with, Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. It's a good time of year to kind of take a couple days, unplug, turn the phone off, stay off the social media and listen to albums like this. And that's where this album's really kind of shined for me over the past week or so. Just kind of having it on there, just having that breather, a much needed breather, which has been fantastic, and that mainly is why I appreciate this record and I appreciate this recommendation. I think there is a sense of arriving on this album, and I think it comes on the last tune. And the only reason I know it's the last tune because the album ends. I couldn't tell you how many songs there are on this record, even though Joel just told you. It flows so well. It's just one into another, just takes you on that journey, and that's spot on. I think our community really nailed it this episode with painting all these different pictures of their opinions on it, but that's what this album does. Everybody listens to it's going to have a little bit different take on it, and it's fantastic. And William Tyre's playing is brilliant, fantastic stuff. It was recorded extremely well. Noticed a lot of the little ghost harmonics that happen with acoustic playing, and they sounded incredible on it. Very, very good record. Definitely one. It's up there with the Field Report record that I kind of just put on to kind of tune out, get that sense of a journey, reboot yourself. And this is up there with that for me. This is fantastic, and it's been much needed. And yeah, he's just a really great guitar player. And it's neat when the band kicks in and whatnot, and he's got people playing with him, and it's ace stuff, man.
Yeah, great live too. He can play all this live. Good player. And funny too, man. He kind of a witty sense of humor. I didn't expect that from him. I expected a very contemplative, quiet, reserved. But man, he was funny. He was cracking me up in between his tunes. The humor you don't get on the album. Karl, what do you think?
I think it's a good shout that you've said about the change in the seasons and stuff. I did get a little bit of that from it, and unfortunately we've kind of accelerated over here. It's very wet and cold and horrible, and all the leaves are on the ground already. But when you put yourself in that mindset, and you kind of like, I've put this on and just not unplugged like Shane has, but definitely like kind of just turned my attention just solely to just sitting down, closing my eyes, and listen to this record a few times, and I think it's really good. I do like a good acoustic record. I get what Mikey says about that perhaps you do get the feeling that maybe he's holding back just a smidge. The tune on here, Rebecca, which I really like, and it loosely reminds me of Pete Townsend's guitar playing on Quadrophenia, and there's a track on there called "Drowned" where it's got this lovely little acoustic strumming, and this dude reminds me of that, a little bit slower and more calm and melodic, but it definitely like grabbed my attention, and I was like, oh, I'm just waiting for that just to go a little bit, and it doesn't go, but it doesn't need to. Like it's absolutely lovely as it is, but I can kind of see where Mikey's come from when he says that. I like the length of it. I think it does fly by. It doesn't seem to last 38 minutes, which normally for an acoustic record, often they can seem longer, because they are just, they haven't got everything just pushing you along all the other instrumentation. And I think they do a really good job of that. It's a good tempo, it really fits, and it's over before you realise. The other track on there, I think it's Man in a Hurry, really reminds me of, and this is my Disney side coming through, but Colour of the Wind from Pocahontas. I don't know if you chaps have heard that song. One of the most famous songs from that movie. And that's all about nature and change and feeling it around you. And this whole album kind of, I was like, that kind of just talks to me a little bit. And I was remembering the Pocahontas, and I was like, I had to look through the track listing. So, what song does that remind me of? And then I noticed there was a song on there. There's a couple of songs on that soundtrack about Virginia. And then when I looked back to the album, and I was like, oh, there's a Virginia is for Losers on there. And it just all kind of just made me have a little chuckle. But made me smile, man. I listened to this whole record and I was just, really enjoying it. Happy, nice and relaxing, and really good recommendation.
Awesome. Glad you guys like it. And I like that commentary from Mikey, and you guys kind of talked about it a little bit too, about it being a journey and it never really getting there. I mean, isn't that the whole point of like stress relief and relaxation, is you don't really want that crash cymbal. You don't want that, like, we're here. Not that it would be this exaggerated thing, but I like that it's just this constant journey, and you do never really get to that destination. It's not trying to tell you a story with a beginning and an end. It's trying to just take you on this journey. And I don't know what it is about the record, but we all seem to are attached to the nature and the seasonality quality of it. I thought that might just be me because I like nature. I'm an animal guy. It's just what I take from it. But even the community and you guys both seem to, for whatever reason, he does have that kind of nature quality to the music. Not sure what it is specifically. That's cool. You both walked away with some of that.
Be cool to listen again in February, or in Joel's case, July, when the snow melts. I think that'd be another great time of year to, maybe go back and revisit this one when we're all thawing out and, start to get a little bit of that sun coming through.
It's true though, man. I got this album came out in January. I pre-ordered it. So I got a nice, really cool variant, and I got a little CD of some live stuff that came with it. I got a nice little package, but it came out in January and it didn't grab me in January. It's a good record. I mean, I liked it right away, but it took listening to it throughout the year. But once it came to fall here, it's like just certain albums I want to hear in certain times a year. And it's like, you know what? That record that in January, it didn't blow me away, I know is going to fit the mood right now here in the fall. Let me put that on. And I just got more out of it now after all these months have passed than I did when I first put it on back in January.
Yeah, basically.
All right. What do we got for next time? You guys got something to recommend?
I do not really. I haven't listened to a lot of new stuff in the past couple of weeks.
There's Canadian band Pup. They released a record this beginning of summer or in the spring, Morbid Stuff, which is a great rockin', very good record. Kind of Dirty Nil, Bleach-esque. We've done a lot of records like that. But yeah, Pup. Good Ontario band.
I like the sound of that. What do you think, Karl?
I think he had me at the Dirty Nil, to be fair.
Yeah, same.
There you go.
You want to throw it out there? Recommend it, Shane?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Pup. Morbid stuff.
All right. Well, we got a little bit of a shorter time frame between next recording. We got a week. So if you want to swing back before November 16th, if you're listening promptly, drop some thoughts. Listen to the record, of course. Drop some thoughts in our Discord or our Facebook group. We'll have associated threads in both. We'd love to share your thoughts, your ratings. Next episode, 201. Start a new chapter.
Whoa. Over halfway there.
201, an ABOG Odyssey. That was bad.
How's that stout feeling?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty
good.
Good.
You're looking rosy.
Yeah, I'm feeling rosy.
That stout's looking rosy.
Your Radler's looking rosy.
Right? Your Radlers.
Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate you. Sincerely. Couldn't do it without you. All these 200 episodes and the next 200. Thanks a lot. Next episode, hey, we got something planned. We're going to do, mostly kind of my idea. Hopefully these guys are cool with this. Games on our shelf that we want to find the time to play. We're coming to the end of the generation. We got the PS5 and the Xbox, whatever the F. Next console on the horizon. Whatever they're going to call that thing. And it's time. I got a shelf full of games that I should have played that I haven't played. Before I get that new console under the TV, even though they'll probably both be backwards compatible, I want to get through some backlog. So what I'd like to do is go through my pile, pick out a few games, and kind of put them front and center and make sure that I get through those games before that next generation of consoles launch. And talk about it on here so that I can make a commitment and hold myself accountable that I'm going to chill out on buying games and play these games I have before I spend a lot of money on new consoles and new games late next year. Shane, Karl, what do you think? Just me, or are you interested in something like that? Or just you got a couple games maybe that you've been meeting to get to? Think it'll make for a good chat?
I'm totally interested in that. I think it does help to put a bit of focus on it and be like, right, okay, this needs to get played. And I am guilty as you are, Joel, going and picking them up and then they sit on the shelf. So, yeah, I think we take the plunge, we pick out some games, we're like, right, and maybe we chip in on each other's and be like, right, okay, we're going to pick one, that we all have to commit to, and, maybe me and Shane can pick one of yours, be like, right, dude, you got to put that to the top of the list and vice versa. Let's make that commitment.
Yeah, 100%. Great idea.
Awesome. I buy too many. I buy way too many games that I never play. So I really want to do something to make all that money spent worthwhile.
Yeah, exactly. Here.
Well, thanks again for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you like it, please do us a favor. Tell a friend. Share it on social media. We'll be back with you in 2 weeks' time. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.